Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Jill Derby. We're talking about the Zero's Emission Vehicle Corridor development that was announced at the state legislature.
The last session of the legislature passed several renewable energy bills with stimulus money included in several. How do you see that moving forward now? The last that I heard, everything was sort of just at a real slowdown and a huge stop. And it seems like once they adjourned, the momentum now is decreasing. What's happening at the state level?
Well, that's one of the reasons for REA250, the accelerator, is recognizing that it's not a given that Nevada can rise to the occasion in the moment. I mean, it really is Nevada's carpe diem moment of seizing the day if we do. But it isn't automatic that that will happen. So I think that we're not the only group, but we're very interested in bringing the private sector and engaging them fully in this opportunity for Nevada. And I think that's one of the reasons we've come forward. We're working with private groups, with public groups, looking how to integrate, how to align people. You know, one of the complaints we've heard, or kind of a refrain, is that there's a lot of energy, but how to capture it and integrate it, because people are saying nobody knows what anybody else is doing. And it's so important that we kind of capture all of that momentum, take advantage of it, integrate it, so that we don't have 100 different parties running off in different directions.
Now, the governor is going to be asking for a energy czar or renewable energy czar at the next Interim Finance Committee, supposedly to bring all this together and try to get it moving forward. Do you support that move?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we see ourselves working in alignment, in partnership with many other groups that are stepping forward. The challenge really is the integration here. We're working to bring private industry into Nevada, businesses, to smooth their transition into Nevada, to bring manufacturing. We're talking to not only automobile and battery technology companies, but also new wind turbine companies that are looking at coming to Nevada, manufacturing here. We're trying to help identify markets. We've got some international markets that we've identified, but the workforce issue is huge as well, because really we don't have currently the kind of workforce trained in these new technologies that can serve those industries. So all of that needs to be coordinated and integrated. No state agency can do it alone, and I think having the private sector engaged and having those of us that are working to make this happen, such as REA250, is going to be very critical to the success of this effort.
Is NV Energy a part of what you're doing?
Yeah, we're talking to NV Energy, absolutely, and yesterday, as a matter of fact, REA250 facilitated a session down in Las Vegas, bringing lots of folks together to listen to NV Energy talk about the possibility of electric cars and what they see as their role. But Sam, I want to go back to the corridor, because we think that's one of our main initiatives, and we're supporting that. It's now called the Alternative Fuels Testing Corridor, rather than the zero emissions. But the idea is that a lot of these companies want to have the ability to test their fuel cells, their electric cars, whatever they are. And this corridor would provide that opportunity. It would have charging stations from Reno down to the Bay Area. It's called the I-80. Alternative Fuels Testing Corridor. And what's on the table now is really we're looking for funding for a feasibility study, but it's a collaboration between UC, University of California, Berkeley, UC Davis, and our consortium in higher education, working together in all the research and the follow-up testing analysis that goes on around, you know, this emerging industry around zero emission and low emission vehicles.
Is the Nevada system of higher education involved in this activity?
Absolutely. And, you know, the Nevada System of Higher Education put together a consortium that they can work together around renewable energy products. And matter of fact, I was down at UNLV yesterday just talking to them about the role they're going to be playing. But this feasibility study would look at that partnership with the UC system and with our Nevada system, because it takes a lot of research. Engineering can bring a lot to the table in terms of the testing as well. But this, you know, low emission, zero emission technology is advancing quickly.
The Department of Transportation also has a group that's meeting. They're getting a substantial amount of stimulus money into the state. Are they a part of this group, and is that one place you might look for the money for the feasibility study?
Well, we've, one of the things that we do besides trying to integrate business and private, public, and connection and so forth is working in collaborations for some of these grant proposals. But we see ourselves working in partnership with all these different groups, public and private, that are forming. We're helping to write some of these proposals and grants. There's a lot of stimulus money out there. We don't want to, and it comes quickly, those deadlines. The federal government wants to get this moving so it stimulates the economy, and we don't want to leave that money on the table because we couldn't get grant proposals in time. So we're working with a number of groups on proposals. We've put some of our own in, and that's a part of the challenge here, is working quickly to get those proposals and bring that stimulus money into Nevada. A lot of people think Nevada could be the next Saudi Arabia of renewable energy.
Wouldn't that be a great thing?
Yeah.
Just briefly, how much competition are you getting from other states? Are other states trying to do the same kind of thing beyond California?
Well, they are, but I have to tell you, Sam, when we looked around to see if there were models for leadership in this, there aren't any. We see Nevada and some of the models we're putting together as having the opportunity to be a leader in the nation. We put together early on a partnership in workforce training around small wind turbines, bringing the apprenticeship programs that are available together with the community colleges, Nevada Energy at the table, wind turbine manufacturers, and so forth. How can we all work together to make this happen, position Nevada with the workforce training that's necessary? So we're already using that as a model, but when we went looking around to see where there were others, we didn't find them. We thought, well, it's up to us, and we hope to be a leader in Nevada, and REA250 wants to support that, facilitate that, and help make that happen.
Come back in a couple of months and give us an update, would you?
Okay, I'll do it.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this time out. Thanks, Jill.
Hi, my name's